Ni za levičarje narejeno. Sem povedati, mi morate kdaj začnem. Okay, welcome. My name is Erik Strumbel. I'm the creator and let's say the main maintainer of this data science master's program and initiative. I'm very happy to see so many of you here. The main purpose today is to just briefly present the master's program and then through Q&A answer all the questions that you might have, basically to figure out if this program is for you or not. Okay, so this program has been now running for about 5 or 6 years, long enough so that I don't even know anymore. Everything just blends together. The main purpose of this program is to prepare you for a career in data science. So to be a versatile data scientist, to cover all aspects from gathering the data, the technical skills needed to work with data, the analytical skills needed to work with data, and also the, let's say, statistical machine learning skills and the soft skills required to work with data. So that's quite an ambitious goal. As a consequence, one of the main characteristics of the program is that it's designed for full-time study, and I would say relatively to programs here at the Faculty of Computer Science, a bit more demanding, but the students might have a different opinion or not. We'll see. It's completely in English, so you can go through the entire program in English. And we're aiming for, mostly computer science students, engineering students, also natural sciences students, any type of student that has some exposure to mathematics and computer science. If you didn't have any exposure to either, then this program is probably too difficult. And usually, even if you were quite exposed to one, there's some catching up to do in the other area. But I'm also happy to say that this program has, last year I think was the first year where the majority of students were not from computer science. So we had a lot of mathematicians, physicists, engineers from other faculties, biologists, chemists, and so forth. And what I've learned is that if this really interests you, and if you're willing to work hard, your undergraduate program is not the main factor that will determine your success in this program. Okay, so the enrollment process, like I said in the before in the presentation, the short presentation I had an hour ago, it's part of the computer science program here at FRI. So the enrollment is the same, but the spots are different. So we have 18 spots for Slovenian students and 8 spots for non-Slovenian students. So 18 for EU and Slovenian and 8 for other students. The criteria are 40% undergraduate grade and 60% entrance exam, which is the same as the entrance exam for computer science. So actually, if you don't want, if you're unsure, you can do just one entrance exam here. You list the preference as your first choice, and then if you don't get the first choice, you get the second choice. So that's different than undergraduate applications where if you don't pick it as the first choice, you might disadvantage yourself. That's not the case here. So if you get accepted to both, you'll get your first choice. If you don't get your first choice, but you would be accepted for the second choice, you get the second choice. Yeah. So there's no extra work with that. Okay, and the selection, it depends on the COVID years have been a bit different, so it's difficult to say how good a grade you need to get accepted in this program. Last year, I think doing well on the entrance exam and having a GPA of around 8 would be enough. The worst we had, I think, was 8.5 and doing really well on the entrance exam. But most years we didn't have any, so everyone got enrolled. So it's difficult to say. The content of the program, we can kind of divide into 3 parts. One is this red part, like the bright red one, which is the, let's say, analytical mathematical core. So a lot of mathematics, a lot of probability, statistics, and machine learning. So everything that you need to have this foundation for analytical work. Then you have the not so red part, which is the more hands-on working with industry part. So introduction to data science goes through most of the things that you need, but on a tool-based level, so get to know the tools. We have visiting lecturers almost every week. Then in the second semester, there's an entire course just working on a project from industry. I'll tell you a bit more about our collaboration with industry. And then there's the master's thesis, which can be applied or theoretical, whatever you choose to do. You can continue your work with industry. So that's and the remainder is more elective. So you get to elect one of the modules from computer science. Most students still elect the more data science AI modules. And then you have data science electives, and so you have to pick 2 out of 4 courses. You can pick all 4, but at least 2: big data, Bayesian statistics, deep learning, and advanced machine learning. And then there's an entire list of all the data science courses like text, natural language processing, network analysis, computer vision, bioinformatics, biometry. So there are a lot of courses that you can get pick these 3 out of. Okay, so collaboration with industry, I already told you about this. So collaboration with industry is integrated into the master's program. So if we were in the other lecture room, I could show you all the sponsors. So every year, about 7 to 8 companies sponsor this program, and I'm very grateful for that, because we get not only an exposure to what's going on in industry, and you get to work on their projects, you also get visiting lecturers, and we also get some financial support, so we're able to run workshops and events and organize things for students, send them to conferences and stuff like that. Okay, this basically I already talked about. I would say if the question is, this probably is going to interest a lot of you, what do I need to know for the entrance exam? The list of books is there, but if you're good at programming and math, you will do well. Yeah? The rest is about 20% of the entrance exam. Okay, yeah, basically if you want to learn more, the best thing is to ask questions now. And if not, email this, I'll get the email and I'll reply as soon as I can. And there's some extra information on the website, including what workshops and events we run. Maybe a quick question, how many of you have already attended one of the data science workshops that we have here? Almost every month? No? Okay, good. Go to the website, subscribe to the newsletter. We don't spam, but you'll be notified about the events that we have here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll kick things off. Yeah. So hi everyone, my name is Leon. I'm a second-year student of the data science course. Obviously, I'm also employed as a researcher here at the faculty. My undergraduate studies was in mechanical engineering, and I decided that I wanted to do something a little more analytical. I always really enjoyed working with data and seeing what I can extract out of data. So that's really what led me here. Based on my background, it was a little more challenging of a transition, especially in terms of programming. But in the end, you put in the work, and if you're motivated, it really does work out. So maybe get the rest of the crew to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Anya, and I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering, so I also transferred from a non-computer science program, mostly because I realized that I don't like spending time in a lab and doing all the experiments, and that I preferred if someone else did that for me, and I did all the analysis and extracted all the possible knowledge from it. And I guess I have a pretty similar experience, that I needed to put in more work regarding coding, but it was possible because I wanted to learn it, and I didn't give up, I guess.
Hi everyone, my name is Jovana. I'm a first-year student. I've done my undergraduate in computer science here at FREE. During this master's, I've also been involved in several labs and got my hands dirty on some research, and that is what I like actually about this program, is that it enables us to understand what is new in research now, but it also gives us a good mathematical background to understand all the algorithms and to be able to apply them in the right manner.
So hi, I'm Edwin. I'm an alum of this program. I graduated last year in October, and I'm currently working as a data scientist in one company here in Ljubljana, Data Lab. So back in 2018, when things kind of started blooming in this field, I mean, much more before that, but kind of really when everyone heard about AI, machine learning, and everything, that's when also I kind of picked up on it, and I decided that may be my career choice. And then I'm an international student. I come from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then I took a leap of faith, and I came here, and you know things worked out in the end. So yeah, currently working in the industry, having fun. That's it.
Edwin, was your undergraduate computer science?
No, it was in automation electronics. I did at Faculty for Electrical Engineering in Sarajevo.
Okay.
So I also changed
okay.
my career choices.
So a lot of that.
Yeah, there is a lot of it.
I guess we can start with questions from the audience. Any first takers?
So I can start.
Yeah.
You mentioned the project course. It's mostly subjects from industry. Can you tell us something more about them? How do they usually look? And do you also include research topics in the labs here too?
Okay, yeah, so thank you for the question. So with some like rare exceptions, all topics come from industry. So they come from our collaboration with our sponsors. Every year we go to them about January and we say, do we have any interesting topics? So over these past 5 years we kind of develop a good understanding of what topics are suitable and doable in these 3 months. I could list a few, but maybe if we just go, it's all focused on industry. Yeah? So you get one supervisor from free, you get 1 or 2 supervisors from industry, and then you work in a team on that. That's the whole course. I could list a few topics, but we can just go here and
Sure.
people can tell us what they worked on or are working on right now. So.
Yes, so last year my project was, oh god, I forgot the exact topic, but it was feature selection on big and sparse data sets. The company was Outbrain, which is an active sponsor of this program for some time now. I was also awarded second place, which is okay, I guess. And yeah, it was really interesting for me. Really hands-on stuff. You get to work with data from industry. You get to connect with people. I think that's one of the bonuses for sure.
Yeah, I'll just quickly jump in because you mentioned second place in what? And so every year we make a competition out of it. Maybe you've heard of it. So the best teams after internal presentations are invited to present their work at the finals. So they're graded by internal committee and then also by people from industry, and we award the best ones every year. And also even if you're not part of this program and you want to participate in this competition, you can. So we're also taking a few teams not from data science, and we have separate awards for those teams as well. So it's last year third place was a team of computer science master students.
So maybe next, Anya, you can tell us.
I also worked on a topic that came from Outbrain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about using like decision trees as a transformers, like to transform categorical data before like feeding it to a neural network. And it was an interesting thing because like you really get to see what the process is like in industry. What are like all the problems with data, and like how not everything is just perfect, and you can just like take it and take 10 minutes of machine learning and that's it. So I think that was the most interesting part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm currently working on a project for Zurich Insurance Group. The project is on interpretable machine learning. What I like about this project is that actually before the project I had almost no knowledge about that topic, which is a very important topic nowadays. So during these 3 months I actually learned a lot, and currently we are doing a study on how humans understand currently the most popular or mostly used explainable AI tools.
Yeah, and we got a topic from Siemens. It was about, so they had in their, I guess their building, they had certain fans that were producing sound in the basement, And we did anomaly detection with those sound waves, sound signal, to determine whether certain fans were corrupt or not. And yeah, also for me, also it was like the first time that I did something that concerns audio signal processing, and was I can't say we did good enough to win an award, but we certainly did, I think, a good job. And the colleagues from Siemens were okay with what we did. So.
So I just realized we all had projects from foreign companies.
Yeah.
Which is a coincidence. We do have Sloven sponsors.
She's working with
last
me.
year.
With Zurich.
Yeah, but it's
Actually, last year I worked for a topic with Medius. That was during my undergraduate, for which we won Best Undergraduate Award.
Oh, so you're actually attending the second time now?
the third time.
No, the
You don't want
time.
to mention
Second time.
wasn't there a first time?
No,
Oh,
that was a talk.
So two-timer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a project on predicting train occupancy using external data sources. That was a project in the collaboration also with Slovenian Railways. So actually we had the real data, which was really fun to to use, and it was actually quite a lot of data, and quite an interesting experience, which I would suggest to everyone to take a chance and maybe participate even in their undergraduate, because you'll get a sense of how fun machine learning actually is if you go beyond the usual data sets like Titanic or body fat or something like that.
Yeah, and every year I would say like the teams that like work really hard produce results that are often transferred into practice immediately. The companies have also evolved, and they understand how they need to set things up for that to work. So every year I'm amazed at how well students do. And also being involved in this now for 5 years, the students don't like it as much, and I think Anya already mentioned a bit, you see in practice how things are not the way they are in textbooks. But I'm always very happy when students come and they say, oh, first, they're late with the data is a mess. Their current solution is just some notebook in Python. Oh, we have to do GDPR training before we can even access the data and stuff like that. And then you learn how to communicate this and manage expectations and how to tell people that they've done a very poor job so far without saying that literally. Yeah? So you get to learn how things work in practice. And, it's not always pleasant, but I think it's a very good experience in the end. But that was a very long answer to a very short
Maybe
question.
take another question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between data science and AI? Is it more about the interpretability of AI?
Okay, so that's a very complicated question. I'll try to answer it briefly. For most intents and purposes, there is no difference. Yeah. Some people might say AI is more interested in developing systems, robots, like human-like behavior, but the underlying techniques and the knowledge that you need is pretty much the same everywhere. Maybe if somebody is doing more machine learning, you might go into certain areas more. If you know you're going to go into AI, maybe you'll do a bit more machine learning than statistics, but the skill set is pretty much the same. Data science is a term that has morphed a lot in the last, it used to be maybe business analytics, quantitative analysis. It's going to be something else in the future. AI has been more persistent, but the skill set is pretty much the same for most intents and purposes, I would say. I mean, you cannot be good at AI and suck at data science, or the other way around. Yeah.
Do we have any stream questions? Is there anyone on the stream? No? Yeah, there is. Okay. I'll just repeat the questions back for the stream. They probably can't hear the public. Okay, next question, please.
So I have a question specifically for Aaron, because I also come from electrical engineering. So I'm curious about what area did you have to catch up the most, and maybe if you had to study a lot for like mathematics or programming for the entrance exam, so about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, so the question is about specifically for electrical engineering transferring to data science.
Yeah. So, good question. So, if my program is the same as, if your program is of the same concept as mine was, then you will be lacking a lot of statistical knowledge that is needed very much for this program. So there was a lot of catching up to do in statistics. Luckily, the program is designed so you learn statistics from the ground up. Even though it's kind of fast-paced and you have a lot of catching up to do, but still it's doable. There are a lot of us that caught up and that learned statistics. And also, in my program, I was lacking programming knowledge, especially in Python, since here in data science, especially in the first year, you only do Python and R language. In my program, we did only C++, so it was like very much different, and there was a lot of catching up to do there also. So those two things. Mathematics, I think you'll do just fine. Electrical engineering mathematics is, I would say, really advanced, and you won't need a lot of training there. Yeah, that's all.
So the same question, but for someone who's from Kolkata.
Okay, so so we're doing the same question from chemical background? Biochemistry, okay.
Yeah, so basically what I think is, it depends on how much projects maybe you took on yourself and how much coding, you know? Because like, I think you have one semester, like we had one semester of coding, which was like a good introduction to it, but then it depends how much you practice it. For me, at the beginning, I think the biggest difference between me and maybe my classmates who came from computer science was that I needed more time for homeworks, just because like I read the homework, I read the instructions, and like, okay, I figure out what I need to do, but it wasn't like, oh, now I just write the code. So maybe that's the most difficult part, but it just means you need to put in more time. It's possible. So I think that was the biggest problem, and I think there's enough maths. Maybe you will need to like go back and check your knowledge on linear algebra, because I don't know how much you use it in like your day-to-day. But it's possible. It's possible. Like you learn.
Maybe I'll add to that. I already mentioned this before, but if you're dedicated, I'm yet to see a student that was dedicated and didn't complete the program just because they had an unsuitable undergraduate program. Yeah? So far, you can do it, and it becomes pretty clear in the first semester. So if I take a step back and like make this objective statement, in the first semester you will answer the question if you're willing to put in the work or not. You will understand how difficult the program is, and so of the people that enroll but do not complete the program, most of those are identified. They figure it out in the first semester, and then it's easy to transfer to some other program. All the credits that you do here, you can transfer to computer science if you want. Yeah, I'm just being blunt, but that's how I see it from afar over the years. It becomes a choice if you're willing to put in the work, not so much that it's not possible.
And we have like a biochemistry. I have a biochemistry classmate, and she's doing great. And like there are people that come from biochemistry, and
I would maybe just also add, because I have to, I promise that I will, that also we have this program and the initiative. I think it's you will tell me if you agree or not. It's kind of a small community, and every year we also have second-year students that are willing to do some tutorials for first-year students to help them out. So this year, I think for all the compulsory courses, we had at least one person doing tutorials. So we help each other out, yeah. But then, in the end, it's up to you if you put in the work.
Yeah.
Is there maybe something that you expected from this course that you didn't get?
Okay, so the question is if there is something we expected from this course that we didn't get. All right, maybe start with Ermin.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd say no. So my thinking when I started this was, okay, I want to, immediately from the get-go, I said I want to work in industry, right? So my I guess fear was, okay, I'll not get enough practical knowledge that I'll be able to transfer into industry, kind of like my undergraduate study was formed like that. But no, here we had a project that was like straight direct working with the industry. We had master theses. That's also most of us do stuff with the industry. Also in the first semester, introduction to data science, you have 3 projects where you get the data set from the industry and you work with it. So I'd say it satisfied all my wishes, all my needs. So yeah, that's the answer.
I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I would like even more statistics. Like the first course, I felt like it could be divided into 2 more, just to get, even from the computer science, we certainly lack some statistics, so it would be beneficial to have it even more. But like you'll see, the more you get into the machine learning and deep learning, the more mathematics there is, especially if you want to go into research. You'll have to make it up for all of that you maybe did not learn during the computer science undergraduate. So I get like this program has a really, really great program in statistics, but I would love some more also.
There is a course in the second year, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's like you have 2 years, right? And there are, of course, a lot of topics that maybe you want to cover, and then at some point you realize, oh, I would maybe like to take this subject and this subject more and this subject that are available, but you have as many credits as you have, and you have 2 years. So I think it's more up to you to like figure out what you really want and then get it, because I think like the diversity in courses, and like you can take courses in natural language processing, like that is not really a data science, not only a data science subject, but there is a lot of different courses available, and it's more about really like just figuring out what you want. So
yeah, so I really resonate with Anya's answer in terms of like, I think as data scientists, we have a tendency to want to not limit ourselves to a particular domain. We're interested in analyzing data in a more abstract sense. So usually we like to hop around in different domains, research different topics. So yeah, I mean, like she said, we're limited in credits and time, and there's only so much you can do in 2 years. But I mean, that's up to you, right? Just go do a PhD.
I mean, it doesn't have to be 2 years.
Yeah,
usually
you can make it 3 years if you want to. So I guess that's my problem.
Years is a rare one.
Yeah, actually, statistically, I think Eric has the statistics.
Not very common. Yeah.
I guess the main point is that we don't have enough, like, there's no enough time to do all the cool things we want to, because like it just motivates you to do more and to search for more things that you can do. So yeah.
Am I also allowed to answer this question, what my expectations were and what the reality is of this program? Yeah, no, because on a serious note, when students come to the program, this year was especially with your generation, what are you interested in? Computer vision. Like, it was like everyone's just computer vision. You know that there are other topics, yeah? No. But then over time, I think you get to realize how much there is out there, how you can apply these skills. And that was one of the main things when setting up this. One of the main goals was, I want somebody that completes this program to, at least we offer enough skills and knowledge that they are versatile. It doesn't matter which domain, wherever you go, you will be able to do things, and you will be able to do things well. Yeah? Another goal was that, a literal goal, that when you have a degree from this program, it means something in industry. And I could say that, like, from the feedback for the last 3-4 years, we've kind of achieved that. Explicitly, with people with degrees from our program are sought after in industry. You might even skip a few interviews when you're applying for a job. It might even be, oh, you have another graduate, let's send him over. So I'm very happy about that. The degree means something. I also plan that we'll have these amazing inquisitive students. It worked out, yeah. I'm very happy. So persisting that it's a very difficult program, and it is. I think we kind of, with self-selection, I'm really, every year students amaze me with the work they do and their enthusiasm. So it's been, I would say, an overall, even beyond my expectations, yeah, from this course.
Sorry, so the question is, if you fail one subject, can you? I think so. Yeah.
You can. I think there's no. Yeah, you don't even have to apply or request. You can leave one subject for the first year. Actually, sometimes I even make the recommendation that if you take particular difficult courses, that you do leave one for the next year. It's yeah. So, yeah, it was designed. We're gonna renovate the program, not for you guys if you enroll next year, but. The goal was like, this is what you should know, and now let's try to cram it into 2 years. And it's always going to be like that, but there's a lot of work, yeah. Sometimes it's easier to leave something for the second year and focus on the fundamentals.
Yeah, I think that most of us actually left one subject.
Not always intentionally.
Not always intentionally, but sometimes it's better to leave it intentionally and like don't
There's nothing wrong with
your
that. Yeah.
time and mental
You
power
just
that
have
you.
more work in
Yeah.
your second year. It's like you're not cheating the system.
Yeah, you're not
You're
cheating
just
the system.
transferring.
Yeah,
the-
you're just
And then you do your masters in your third year.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
about
not me.
usually.
Specific subject, or is it the same subject for everyone, or do you take different subjects?
So I think we're getting a little too into like how can I get away with not passing stuff?
See, that's the mentality that we instill.
Yeah,
Here.
that's not a good starting point. But to be serious, there are certain classes that take more of your time. So if you want to be strategic, you might want to skip leave those for year two if like that works for you.
I mean, one thing that I would add, like, what is kind of unique, you don't see many programs like this, especially in master's programs. Courses lead into each other. Yeah? So you have some fundamental courses, and there's no point in taking a course if you haven't grasped like the previous courses. So it's better to leave the courses that follow than the fundamental courses for second year. And usually that's the mathematical, statistical, machine learning background. That's what you should build first, and then you can do the other courses.
Yeah.
I have a question about the workload, which I understand is huge, but I already sometimes struggle with burnout and the amount of work in undergrad, and so I'm basically having an internal problem of will I survive?
So the question is about the workload. What units do you want me to express it in?
I guess hours or days.
Yeah, so
Hospital visits.
I heard from like our faculty, one of our teachers said that they estimate that we put in 50 hours of work per week. If that's a good estimate for you. If you're struggling with burnout now, my question for you is, are you really motivated for your studies right now?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're focusing only on the studies, or you're also working on the side?
No, on studies. I
Mhm.
had some problem with group projects where, sometimes you're the only one working on stuff.
Well,
That's a big problem.
that's a different kind of problem, I think.
I don't think it's really the case.
Not here.
Our-
Yeah.
It's not. We
Well, not to. I mean, you can burn out.
I
That's
think
not
it's not
a-
a problem with the group projects that you would be the only one doing, because
Yeah.
people in this course are usually motivated and want to do the project.
And the thing is that you mainly have individual projects
That's
in the
true.
first
Yeah.
year, except the data science competition project. So you'll basically just rely on yourself. What helped me is definitely time scheduling. First time in my life I used a planner because there was no other way to see what I have to do, because like every 2 weeks you get new assignment and you don't know what have you done, what meetings do you have if you have for the project competition or something like that. So I would definitely suggest a handwritten planner. that was my hub during this semester, just to keep everything like on the track. But yeah, it was quite a lot of work. But as I said, I just got motivated even more, like drastically more. So I guess it's worth it.
I also used the planner for the first time last year.
Everyone says then that the second year is easier,
Yeah.
but I think it's mostly because the first year is so intense.
I think we just get used to it.
Yeah, and then it's like, we could do more.
Yeah.
And we leave the masterpiece anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a general problem. I think that the way that programs are designed here in Slovenia mostly is that there's a lot of courses. 5 courses per semester is quite a lot. So partially we try to do like, okay, we have some courses that are more mathy courses and you can study them in the summer, yeah, whatever, and then do the exam in September, and you don't have to think about them because there's no coursework. But the more computer science courses, you have a lot of coursework. We did I would say, semi-good job of that. I think we can do a better job, but when now we're in the middle of renovating this, we're trying to do an even better job so that you have maybe 1 or 2 courses that are very coursework intense, and then you have 2 courses that are more sit down and study intense, which you can do later. Yeah.
Do a follow-up. How is your day-to-day then look like? I understand the work-life balance is pretty much on the side of work. Is there any life left?
Yeah. So the question is, what's our day-to-day life on this program? So first I'll answer with a joke, and don't take it too seriously, but me and my classmates, we joke that, basically when you're working on a project, when you need to take a break, you go do another project, so you can rest from working on the first project.
You can write a report.
Yeah, I mean, just go take a break, just write a report, right? But on a more serious note, like, year 1 was pretty tough, but to be fair, me personally, I was making up for like a lack of programming knowledge. But like, you can still take the time to have, some fun some of the time.
Yeah, like I would like to add that we have hobbies.
Yeah.
We have friends. And like, to be honest, I think it's the more, like I was studying chemical engineering before that, and of course I needed to study, like I was trying to study not just like 3 days before the exam, but during the semester as well. And I felt that I had less time than here, because here I like started to organize it better and just, okay, now I'm working on this, and then we're hanging out with friends, or I'm doing this hobby or whatever. So I think it's it forces you to be more organized. So I think it's...
Jovana, how's year 1 for you?
Like for me, it's a bit different because also the boyfriend is in the masters, and then we can like
hang out writing reports.
That's really efficient.
writing the code together, and it goes like yeah, but it's all about organization, as Anya said, and like if you really concentrate and put in the work, it will take you much less time than if you just like do it without any sense or any plan. So really the key is in that. But some days I did not left any course for the hopefully for the next year. I'm still doing all the projects and stuff, and it was hard. But also what Eric mentioned before, data science masters is a really strong community. So we really encourage each other to like go through it and to make it work, and that was really also helpful for me. But really, you'll have to organize yourself well.
Ermin?
Yeah, so like Joanna said, like some of the best students come to data science, and there's a sense of like it becomes competitive in a sense, and that's also a big factor that motivates us, keeps us working all the time. But I'll answer in a more positive light. So I've actually had some of the best faculty days I've had here in Ljubljana, especially in the first, in both years. Third year was kind of a mess. So it's not that you're 24/7, you're at your computer, you're doing stuff, you're doing math. No, there's plenty of time for everything, plenty of time for hobbies. Now it may be a little bit, my answer may be a little bit biased because I gave up on one subject immediately in October in the first semester. But still, it's like a way of organizing yourself. So if you have that subject, ready for you to drop immediately, if you feel like the pressure is too high or if you cannot handle the workload, and then you have that semester to go through, and then the second semester, you're already in the rhythm, you're already putting in the hours needed, so it'll be all right, Don't be too scared.
Yeah. For the first 3 years after setting up this program, I had no life. But now it's easier because I only manage things and not lecture as much as I used to. Thank you for asking.
So I just want to expand on something that I think maybe people don't think about when they enroll into this program, and it actually has a lot of added value, which is the community, specifically your classmates. Do not underestimate the energy and motivation that you can draw from your classmates. When you're surrounded with great people, with talented people with tons of knowledge, it does push you, and like just for me personally, just being surrounded by like the best people, it really enabled me to squeeze that every last drop.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people with different backgrounds and different knowledge, and there will always be someone willing to help you with something and explain something additionally.
Also, I think we've built some of the better relationships of our studies, for sure. For me personally, it's just really connected, and
we do party occasionally on first day and Christmas, and maybe also now project. I should be submitting my project party.
Yeah, post submission, like the party. More questions?
So how many people percentage-wise finish in 2 years?
So the question is how many people graduate in 2 years?
There was one in 2000. No, I think typically it takes 3 years. You have every generation, you have maybe those 3 to 5 students that really want to enroll in their PhD as soon as possible, or they're trying to catch a deadline, studying abroad or some scholarship here. I would say 3 to 5 students every year. Yeah.
I think just in case you're using that question as a proxy, as how hard things are, I think you need to ask yourself, does it really make sense to graduate an year earlier if you can spend that year doing a really good job for your master's thesis? Usually you have a job by year 3 anyway. Well, some people get jobs earlier. Do not get a job in year 1. Do not do that. But what do you guys think?
Well, for me personally, I probably could do my master thesis this year, but I enjoy being a student. So that's why I'm taking an additional year. So I think a lot of people think this way as well, and you can use it.
And Ermin, your experience was?
Yeah, so back to the question, how many finished? I know a few guys that didn't finish, and I'll give you the reason why. Because they were employed the first year, they didn't take the course seriously. They thought that masters is a joke, I guess. I don't know. So percentage-wise, I don't know. But yeah.
I know the numbers are approximately let's say we enroll 20 students, about 5 of them are not going to finish at all, and most of those quit in the first semester. And out of those, most go into the second year, and most take 3 years to complete, maybe 2 or 3. But usually the reason is not like I don't do it because I can still take more out of this program unless I'm in a hurry to go somewhere else. Then that's why people finish. It's not impossible, but it does take serious work. And I would say, even part-time work, finishing in 2 years, I would be amazed. Yeah.
Are projects for outside companies paid?
So the question is, are the projects for companies paid? They're,
Yeah,
maybe you
I mean,
can-
yeah, I can answer that question. So there is a rule that, if I'm not mistaken, you cannot get paid for what you get credits for. Yeah? But that being said, can you turn off the cameras, please? No, no. For this, that it's like literally part of the coursework. You don't get paid. It's this your coursework. But there have been cases where you continue with that work, or you do some work on your masters, and we don't ask questions, and you're already working for the company, or you have some sort of relationship. No, so yeah. But for what's explicitly coursework, you do not get paid. Yeah. But you can get a prize if you do a good job.
It's a competition.
It's a hefty prize.
Top 3 get cash prizes, right?
Yeah, it's only cash prizes and
Yeah.
T-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, T-shirts.
But I could also answer with the questions like, do you put in a good enough job yet to deserve getting paid? So that's also, yeah. Usually, so explicit coursework and money don't mix. Yeah.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
we're out of questions.
Yeah, you have to wait for five minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that it's awkward enough that if they still have some questions left, they will
I
ask.
don't know, maybe we can freestyle.
Oh no.
What about from the stream?
What were your greatest challenges in the program?
Greatest challenges, finishing it.
Let's do one. Let's do the max.
So the greatest challenge, okay, subject-wise, greatest challenge was definitely the subject principles of uncertainty.
Here we go.
Yeah, so that's basic statistics. Like I said, that's because I didn't have any background there, and the final exam was unbelievably tough, but it's better now, I think. So I've heard. No? Okay.
Standards have dropped. I'm interested in hearing about that.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, from everything else was kind of smooth sailing for me, at least. I've had time to even do an internship for 6 months in the third year and still finish my master's thesis. So there was time for everything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good example. I don't know. But yeah, that's my answer. How about you?
So for me,
So far.
yeah, so far I did not take exams for the second semester yet, but so far I would say mathematics too, because it has 4 parts from 4 different domains. Like the first one is Monte Carlo Markov chain, then gradient descent, then we have linear programming, and now at the end we have manifolds. And from the 4 different professors, so I had to study really hard for the first 2, but it was interesting. And I guess you got a good overview of some important aspects of mathematics that are used in data science. But yeah, that especially Monte Carlo Markov chains took a lot of my time to understand.
Yeah, okay, so for me, I think it was machine learning for data science 1. Because it had a lot of coursework and because of lack of my coding skills. So I had to, I know that I learned a lot since last year. And then also the exam is not the easiest exam because it really checks for your understanding in detail. So I think that was the most difficult challenge for me.
Yeah, I'm wondering what to say. I guess course-wise, it was principles of uncertainty. I didn't have a solid statistical, but it was also like a subjective thing for me because I like really wanted to understand it. So I did like put in. I spent the summer studying for it. So yeah, that was nice.
I set up and I'm lecturing principles of uncertainty, and I'm outraged to hear that the standards might have dropped. I assure you that they haven't. But maybe I have a question, just a quick question for you. So who's now at this point pretty much sure that they're going to enroll into data science? Yeah, that was my second question would be who is like unsure? Like, who? And everyone else is just partners of those that came here to. Everyone else is not convinced that they want. So those of you that are kind of, what are you weighing? Why are you unsure? Any questions from that? Or well, you take them and the decision will be made for you. You don't have to make any decisions. Yeah. No, if your alternative is computer science here, then you take the entrance exam, and if you still want to go to data science more, you put that as a first choice, and that's it. Like, there's no, yeah, you don't lose anything with that.
Maybe this is obvious, but like enrolling in the computer science program and taking like machine learning electives will not be an equivalent experience in terms of like the quality of your education.
Or life, yeah.
Yeah. If you think the quality of education is important, if you're just here to get a degree, then maybe you're better off just getting off a bachelor's, like in computer science.
You're definitely better off. I mean, I would say even with a computer science background or any sort of IT background, you will not have a problem finding a job. Yeah. Even with some moderate knowledge of computers, of machine learning statistics, you will get a slightly even better job. No, that's how it is, and that's how it's going to be. I think the main value here is that you will develop a very good understanding, and it's my hope also that you will carry this understanding into industry. And it now quite often happens that people that come from our program integrate new knowledge, new practices into the industry, yeah? And get to explain to other people how things should be done. Yeah? So that's the level of knowledge that we're aiming at. But yeah, if you're just like, I want a degree and I want a good job with good salary, you don't have to go through all this hell here. It's not hell, it's like, look at this. I didn't even force them to say all these nice things. And all of them, I think, passed principles of uncertainty. You still have to pass? Yeah. Okay.
I didn't go to the exam because the same thing as with Leon, I was not satisfied with my knowledge in statistics. I felt that I should know more, like, because I want to pursue a PhD. So I really wanted to get into the principles of uncertainty and learn the basics of the statistics well. So I have that foundation knowledge, and so I can build over it. So yeah, that was the only reason that I did not go to the principles of the uncertainty exam.
So you can be the tutor for next year.
We'll see. I'll consider.
Okay.
Oh.
If it's not too personal, what kind of grades did you have before you came here?
So the question is about our grades before. I think that's a great question, but it depends on where we come from, right? For me personally, mechanical engineering is not as lenient with grading as computer science, I've noticed. What's like the average grade in free?
Yeah, so it really depends. Yeah, if you're free, the average is getting closer to 9 than it is
9,
to 8,
okay.
I think. It's
Yeah, so my GPA from undergraduate was 8.4, which puts me in the top 10% of that school. But like, I don't know how it is for free.
I don't know.
I mean, I can give like a more general answer because I get to see students from different backgrounds and their average grades coming in. It really depends on the program. Like you can have a physicist or a mathematician coming in with a grade point average of 7.5 and then they do great. Because, or you can have somebody coming in with a grade 10 and then they fail or they just don't want to put in the work. Those are usually from free, not to say, but no. Yeah, it's really, but overall we're kind of aiming that you did everything well, this job well done. You did everything that was asked for you. There was no weaknesses in your work. That's usually an 8, and most of the courses here, not all. So 10 means 10s are more rare because it's really exceptional work in a group of exceptional people. Not with all courses, but that's kind of the standard that we try to hold. So, but the average grade is about I would say 8.5 or 8.5, something like that for the masters in this program. But odds are your grades are going to drop, yeah. Unless you come from a FE, then odds are they're going to go up. Yeah. But yeah, we have that discussion every year with grades and standards. And if you depend on a scholarship and you need a 8 GPA, that's doable, I think. 8.5. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's not. It's not. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you all their grades, but.
I mean, my grade went up when I enrolled here.
Mine went down.
You went down, okay.
Then I went on an exchange and my grade.
Yeah, maybe any exchange,
good
problem,
segue, yeah.
questions.
Because this is such a set masters, it's not impossible, but we really do discourage any sort of exchange in the first year. From a personal standpoint, I also say, what's the point in enrolling in this program if you're going to take an exchange in the first year? What's the point? Yeah? In the second year, a lot of people go for exchange. What you need to do if you're a student here to complete this master's, you need to do 2 out of 4 of these mandatory electives in the second year and your master's. So going 1 semester, no problem. You get, if you pick
Any subject.
courses, anything that at least smells of data science, okay, great. If you want to take the entire second year, I would say again, okay, why then enrolling in this program? But some people will, and then they will have to do part of their masters there as well. So part of the work for their masters, yeah. But
is there still grads, the dual program that was?
I don't think that applies for data science track.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Computer science track, yeah.
What's this subject called?
Yeah, it's an amazing introduction to the fundamentals of statistics and the underlying probability using measure theory. It's not that bad. It's a review of everything that not everything, but what you should know from probability and statistics for further work. But it's on a slightly higher level than a usual first course in probability that you might. You're a computer science student? Yeah. Okay, so here you had basically a lot of probability from elementary events to maybe central limit theorem, and then you have a bit of statistics, maybe linear regression, some hypothesis testing. Here we go through everything again, but on a much lower level. So measure theory, trying to understand the underlying mathematics. And then in statistics, we cover all the basic approaches from Bayesian statistics to maximum likelihood to hypothesis testing. So you get a foundation. That's the course that's eventually going to get split into 2 courses. But you might share your experience with principles of uncertainty. It's an amazing course. You have to score 80 theory and 50 or 40 practical to pass.
I think it changes every year.
No, it doesn't change.
Ermin took it the longest time ago, so maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, the practical was only 20% when you were taking it.
The practical is easy. The practical is not the problem. So you have 200 pages, summarized basically. 200 pages, and you have to score 80% on the. To get a 6, by the way, or at least to get the minimal.
But I think that majority passes with a higher grade at the end, because if you
know,
you
know. Because
if you know,
yeah, 6 is a very.
You either fail or you get an 8. So because most of us do, I think, well on the practical part, yeah.
There's some.
80% is for 6 and by 100%.
No, but that's 80% out of 50%. So that's only 40%.
Wow.
Yeah.
But 100% still doesn't get you a 10.
No, then you can take the optional oral exam for a 10. Which one person did, well, a couple of people did, but one actually got a 10. So,
it's not as bad as
it's
it
okay.
sounds.
It's not as bad.
Like you just study it.
People tend to realize, at least in the third or second, third year, that okay, that was really relevant. Who would have thought? Yeah. Yeah, we're working on that as well. So we need to add another statistical component to split the two, and yeah. Maybe it's time to wrap it up, and maybe if people don't want to ask questions on camera, we can stay another 10 minutes and let everyone that doesn't want to be here anymore because they've learned everything they need to know to leave. Yeah, thank you for attending. I'm happy to see so many of you. And if at least 1/3 applies, I think we'll be in a good position for next year. Yeah. So hope to see a lot of you, and we can do some great work together.